Hello, it's Denise running away from home, also known from the olden days as only Arethusa. You might be able to find my website on the Wayback Time Machine. Um, anyway, today was a day when I ended up just screaming in pain and called the hospice number and ended up having a hospice nurse come out who medicated me up so that I could quit screaming, and then I was able to. I'm sorry, guys. I'm 65. Marijuana is legal in my state, and when I smoke pot, the pain in my stomach is dramatically decreased. And that's what happened today, although it didn't happen until way after 5 o'clock. Bruce was hunting. I didn't even bother trying to call him. His phone would be off, or he'd miss the call, or something. And to be honest, I would call him back here, and he would just be kind of anxiety provoking because he wouldn't know what to do and he wouldn't know how to comfort me, and it was an easy decision to call Jason instead. Got him just as he was leaving work. Told him, "Don't speed. I'm not dying. Just please come. I need somebody here. I'm all alone and I'm having a really tough time." And he did come after the nurse came, but that's still okay. There was still a one of my, what do they call them? Next of kin. Bruce is not my next of kin. He's my ex-husband, who has charitably let me stay here with him until I die, and then changes his mind every few weeks when I tick him off. Excuse me. And again. And again. And even Linda came, Jason's wife. And it was not as much fun as my birthday. No, 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 no. And I thought that stomachache was bad. But Star will be here tomorrow and help me get to the bottom of this, because I thought the purpose of hospice was to be made as comfortable as possible, but I guess that's my own fault for not increasing my morphine more. I thought I was already taking too much morphine. Apparently not. To add Ativan to that, which I had been trying not to do, today was the closest day that I felt to death. And I have a feeling before I actually die, there will be a lot more days like this when it will feel the closest I've ever been to death, and it terrifies me. So tomorrow we will make a plan that will enable me to stay out of the area of screaming and begging and crying in pain. She had said last week, she had suggested last week that I start on a long-acting morphine that I would take twice a day that would help keep my pain level level. But I waited for Bruce to leave, and then I lost my shit. Crying and yelling, begging for help. Like I've said before, the process of dying is like trying to climb a mountain of glass with all sorts of pieces of glass sticking up, ripping your skin open. Yes, indeed. Where the actual death itself is just like stepping through a door, walking through an open window to get to the other side. And the more of these symptoms, these pains that I have, the more I can't wait to just walk through the door. If I had my druthers, I would rather be laying in a hospital bed with all of my needs taken care of and morphine or whatever else they have flowing from an IV right straight directly into my arm. And while you may think that because I smoke pot I'm a drug addict, you really couldn't be farther from the truth, or further from the truth, because I don't know, maybe you consider anybody who takes drugs recreationally is a drug addict. But I do not. To me, it's like a glass of wine. It calms me and it does wonderful things for the pain in my stomach. A lot of praise Jesus and thank you gods were said after the nurse left, and I'm able to actually sit here and not cry. Yay! Took a while, but this is where I am. Tomorrow, another shower. I hope I can take it. I need it. My sheets changed. I just have to remember and tell myself that taking morphine is not bad if you're on hospice. And to be honest, the morphine does not get me high. I do not feel high. I just feel distracted from the pain. And the pain sort of creeps back to where it lives, wherever that is, for whatever reason. But it will still let me know that it's there. Like that pain that I was having in my side. It is still there, but it's just not as important when I take the morphine. Like, if I don't have any kind of pain with the breathing or the abdominal stuff that's going on, if my day is not like that, I don't take morphine. I don't need it. Why take it? But I do get high because that feels comfortable and allows me to think in a different perspective. I called Joshua before I called Jason because Joshua isn't working and he does have a car. He has my car, and he could have gotten up here and stayed as long as was needed, whereas Jason had worked outside for the gas company and he was tired when he got home. When he got here, he was tired. So I called Joshua later this evening, and he didn't answer, so I was starting a text to him explaining the situation, and told him that my plan had been to call him to have him come up and be with me as a, what's that word, next of kin, in order if something happened and decisions needed to be made. Then Joshua could have called his brothers who have all that information, because that information was decided when Josh and I were not speaking to each other. Don't ask. The hardest kid is always the middle one, especially if he's a boy and you name him Joshua. And he did say that, yes, Mom, call me, I will come up. Which made me feel better. I did not call Chris. I did not want to burden him with that when he's got such a busy life with his family, his own immediate family, the family he created with Chastity. I just needed somebody here to be with me so I wasn't alone. That prayer was answered. Anyway, it's 11:32 on the 8th day of February. No, the 8th day of December 2022. And it's Thursday night. And I have to get up and get to bed because it's going to be a big day tomorrow. And if I have a stomach ache tomorrow, I am not messing around. I'm just coming down here and getting high. I will do anything to avoid that pain again. So, this is the first time that I've talked in depth about the things, the changes that are happening, and telling my boys that it feels like it's getting closer to the time. And while I had thought that I wouldn't mind dying alone, laying in that bed, waiting for the on-call hospice nurse to call me back to see how, because she gave me orders over the phone to take morphine and Ativan much closer to the time when I would be normally allowed to do it. And she'd call me back in a half an hour. She called back in about 45 minutes, and I was just crying. And she said, we're going to send a nurse out. Thank you very much. I really need a nurse. I am a nurse, but I don't feel I have the autonomy to just create whatever kind of a chemical cocktail I want to help with the pain. But I've never met this hospice nurse before. She was very, very kind, very, very nice, very, very gentle. Helped calm me down. Because sometimes when I get in this kind of a situation, I tend to really lose it. And I tried to keep it calm, but it felt so much better when I would just use my voice and call out for Jesus and ask for help with the pain and cry. Just cry and cry and cry. I like to do that kind of thing alone without anybody watching me. And so that's what I did. And then the nurse came and I was able to gather my my little poops and put them all in a bag. Got my stuff together and was feeling better. And I still feel better, except, oh, I'm so tired. I want to go to bed. I want to lay on my belly that doesn't hurt anymore. Processing and putting all the pieces together for a day like this at the end of the day is humbling and frightening, and just the long process of climbing up this jagged glass mountain to reach the top where I can go through the door. Which doesn't make much sense to anybody but me. But have a good day.